I'm going to deal out from underneath that ace.
Blackjack can be beaten by the disciplined advantage player. It's what my teams and card counting friends have been doing for years. But if you have a dealer cheating you, you don't stand a chance of gaining the edge. What are the techniques a dealer could use to cheat you? How can you look out for a cheating dealer? And how prevalent are these tactics today? I've got one of the world's top casino cheating experts to help me break it down in this video. I've spent the last 20 years playing on and running teams that have beaten casinos for millions and teaching those same skills to others through Blackjack Apprenticeship. And we card counters owe everything to Dr. Ed Thorpe, the first man to publish an effective card counting system. Dr. Thorpe developed his system, but before publishing it in his famous book, Beat the Dealer, he went out to prove it in real life in Las Vegas. But to pull it off, not only did Dr. Thorpe have to have a bankroll and perfect blackjack and card counting skills, he also had to bring with him an expert in card dealing to watch for cheating dealers or mechanics. And you can find the written account of this first trip to Las Vegas. What would happen is they'd go to a casino, realize after a while that a dealer was cheating them, then move on to the next casino. They went from casino to casino in Las Vegas, but cheating dealers were so prevalent, they had a hard time finding any casino where they could play an honest game. These card mechanics are the reason that my card counting hero, Tommy Hyland, to this day won't play a handheld blackjack game.
If one dealer out of 50 or 100 cheats you, it's going to wipe out your win rate. I do play 2-deck out of the shoe, but I still don't play any handheld games.
And it's not just the handheld games that you had to watch out for. In the 1990s, legendary blackjack player Arnold Snyder wrote about finding multiple casinos in Las Vegas that were shorting the shoe, meaning they were removing valuable tens and aces from the decks of cards. I've even played a casino that when no one was playing at the table, the dealer had to take all 8 decks of cards, fan them out and separate them by deck to prove that every card was actually in the shoe. When I asked an advantage player friend why the casino did this, he said that he had heard it was because the casino had been caught shorting decks of cards. But what exactly are the techniques a dealer could use to cheat you at the blackjack table? To find out, I met with magician, casino cheating expert, and gambling historian Jason England. The first and one of the most common ways that a dealer could cheat you is by deciding if they're going to deal you the next card or deal you seconds or the second card in the deck. But to decide that, he first needs to figure out what the next card in the deck will be. To get that information, he uses what's called a bubble peek.
I'm going to put my thumb on the side of the deck here and I'm going to push over so that the top card bubbles up. And if I were to look down inside that little bubbled area, I can see that the top card of the deck is an ace. Let's say you asked for change from me at some point. I pull your money a little bit closer, and then as soon as I look down to cut out some green chips, my eyes are now looking right into that bubbled area of the deck. I see what the top card is, and there's kind of no way for you to catch it.
Let's say that the dealer sees that the next card would be either good for me or good for him. Now, he doesn't want me to get that card, so he's going to deal me the second card.
I'm going to deal out from underneath that ace. I'm going to.
Did you just deal me this?
I did. I get the ace. You get this next card dealt normally, and then I would tuck my whole card and, we're off to the races. So that was the move. You can actually do this move as a hit. So I've looked down and seen a 4. I would rather not give you the 4 because that gives you a decent hand. So I want to beat you by dealing a second that isn't a 4. But as you can see, that wasn't good for you. If I do this 1,000 times, you've got no chance.
I'm dead.
You're dead, absolutely.
By simply keeping a player from getting a card they know would help the player and instead giving that valuable card to themselves, the dealer can gain a devastating advantage over the player. Another way a dealer could hurt you is by keeping you from getting valuable cards like tens or aces. One way they could do this is by simply removing the 10 or ace from the cards before it gets dealt.
We'll put a queen on top of the deck, same scenario as before. As I'm picking these cards up, I do the peek. I saw a queen. I don't want to give it to you. So as I place these cards aside into the discard tray, the queen goes with them. And you've just been robbed again of the opportunity to make something out of that 10 valued card or ace or whatever.
Jason showed me that you can also pull this move off without peeking at the top card.
As I scoop these up, I'm just gonna get a little break under a handful of cards, okay? So I don't know how many that is, 6 or 7 cards, something like that. And I have no idea what the top card of the deck is. But as I set these aside, those extra 5 or 6 cards go with it.
Well, I know that if I'm playing a game that they're dealing out, let's say a deck and a quarter, decent rules, I know I can beat that game pretty strongly. Mm-hmm. If you're taking from that 10, 15 cards every double deck shoe, I think I'm beating a game strongly, and it's actually just become a game I would never play.
Would never play, exactly.
If a dealer did this whenever a card counter had his big bets out, it would kill the card counter's advantage. Card counters make their money by betting more when the odds of 10s and aces being dealt is higher. But if the dealer can make it so those 10s and aces don't come out, they've effectively shorted the shoe. That's exactly what a dealer can do with this trick shuffle.
Imagine on the first round out of a legitimately shuffled normal deck of cards, a bunch of high cards come out. So I'm gonna keep that slug of cards away from you on this next shuffle. So I'm just hanging on to a block of 8 cards. There's a shuffle. There's a shuffle. We can pause it right here and show you that I haven't shuffled those at all. They're still sitting down there, okay? So shuffle, shuffle. I can even throw a stripping action in there if I want.
Oh, man.
Shuffle some more. Have I lost one yet? Nope, haven't lost one yet. That slug is still sitting down there on the bottom. As long as you cut somewhere in that upper half, you're never getting any of those.
If that shuffling wizardry wasn't enough, what if the dealer gave themselves an ace on the first hand after every shuffle?
The ace of spades, the only card that I know the position of, is on top of the deck. I'll turn it face down this time. And again, in a 7-handed game, we're gonna try to run these cards up, put a strip in there, a little shuffle like that, and then I'm gonna square these cards up, and I'm gonna expose this. I need a break under the top 4 cards here because that's where I'm going to actually cut this. So before I hand that out, I've got a break under 4 cards, hand it to Colin. He cuts anywhere. Instead of cutting here, which is what I should do, I'm just going to grab those 4 cards, move them over, and very quickly shift that cut card to the bottom. Now, if I did the stacking right, and I don't have my ace face up to check, so we'll have to see, that would be a discarded card. And I said 7 hands, right? So we'll deal these face up even though you normally wouldn't. Dealing single deck. 5, 6, 7, and I get the ace right there.
That would be giving themselves a 16% edge on that hand, likely enough to overcome any kind of odds a card counter could try to gain in the game. If you avoid handheld games, does that mean you can't be beaten? Not if the casino is using a shoe designed to cheat you.
They still might be a threat in some overseas casinos and jurisdictions where maybe it's not the safest to play. I'm going to, deal cards out of the shoe just like any other shoe, but whenever I want, I can actually look at the top card of this deck. In fact, I'm looking at it right now. You can't see it, but I'm staring at the 7 of clubs is the top card of the deck. So the top card is the 7 of clubs. There it is. And had I wanted to, as I looked at the top card of the deck, this card is a 4 of spades, I believe, or 4 of diamonds. It's a 4 of pointy something, that's all I know. If I wanted to hold that 4 in the deck, I can lift it up nice and high and actually deal out from under it. So I don't know if you can see, but there's a card on top of that card that's actually being dealt out. So this is not the 4. That's a 10, but now when I want that 4 of diamonds, I believe it was, to come out, there it comes. I'm gonna turn this around, and if you look into this prism, there's a prism built into the top of the faceplate. If you look right into that prism, and if it was a card that helped you, you would deal it to yourself. If it's a card that hurt you, you would not deal it to yourself.
And the dealer doesn't have to do anything fishy with the cards if they simply mispay you.
So you have made a wager of $300 and you've stacked them properly with your black chips on the bottom and your green on top, and you've won the hand. And what I should do is I should count out 2 blacks, get some green out, size into you, scrape off the excess, and you'd be paid. That's what I should do. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to reach over, grab some green, fake into my black stack like I'm getting a couple of black chips out. I'm going to come over and I'm going to push your bet off of the bottom chip. I'm going to drag off the excess and I'm going to go back to my rack like so. So what I've done is I have stolen one of your blackjacks from the bottom of your bet and used it as the blackjack on the bottom of my payout. Now the funny thing is that means I've actually stolen $200 from you. That belongs there, and there should be 2 more here. So by stealing that one chip from your pile to mine, you actually get robbed twice.
To a distracted or inebriated player, a dealer could pull this off just 1 in 100 hands and absolutely crush the player. How worried should you be about these techniques? I've heard horror stories of cheating casinos in some countries, but for now, just talk about the US. I am not worried about getting cheated for 3 reasons. Unlike when the mob ran Vegas, casinos are far more regulated today. There's now the gaming control board that exists to monitor games and make sure that they're fair. There are also casinos watching every table and every corner of the casino. If you feel like something unfair has happened, all you have to do is say, hey, I want those tapes to be held so that it can be reviewed by gaming control. You might say casinos don't care, they're going to cheat the player anyway, but the economics of a casino cheating a player just don't make sense. If a casino is caught cheating a player, the fines are going to be so much greater than anything they could get out of the player. Might a casino do something a little unethical, like serve too many drinks to a player? Sure, they do that all the time. But as far as straight cheating a player, I don't think so. The second reason is that since dealers aren't working for some mob casino boss, they're going to target the deeper pockets, which isn't the player, but actually the casino.
These days, if you were a cheating dealer, you would try to figure out techniques that enabled an agent, which is the term we use for your cousin from Toledo coming in, sitting down at the table. You deal to that person, make sure they win, and then you guys split the money later. So dealer agent scams still do happen in this town.
For example, about 15 years ago, a group of dealers were recruited by the Tran Mob, a group of cheaters that beat casinos for $7 million with their cheating techniques, until they got caught and had to repay the money and are spending time in prison. Or more recently, a 21-year-old dealer in upstate New York was caught cheating with a player by showing players the dealer's cards. She was arrested and had to pay back the money, and if that wasn't enough, she got caught a couple weeks later for doing the exact same thing a second time, and again, she got arrested. And finally, the number one reason is because the casinos don't have to cheat you. The game is already rigged to take your money. I explain all of that in this video.